We are happy today to have someone who is relatable to our graduates, someone who pivoted from the performance side to the business side of the music industry. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Mr. Daoud King Carter.
Appreciate that. You made me sound real big. That sounded good, though. What's up, Livingstone? How y'all feeling? Y'all feeling good? Y'all made it. Y'all made it. I want y'all to say that. We made it. All right. Look, Livingstone. I'm honored to be here with y'all today for this commencement of one of the finest historical black colleges in the world. It's my pleasure to speak at such a prestigious institution full of so much talent and wit. Truthfully speaking, I never graduated from college, and this may be the closest thing I ever got to a formal graduation or the ceremony part. But today I want to share with you a couple of stories that are not only integral to my success, but most importantly are my truth. I want to tell you my story. A story of a teenage father from the west side of Charlotte that dropped out of high school his second semester of his senior year and rose above all those obstacles, and I'm standing here right now giving y'all a commencement speech. I want to share with y'all about rising above the occasion for multiple reasons. You know, I dropped out of high school my senior year. I know y'all probably wondering why I even dropped out, and even more it's like people trying to figure out why Livingstone done got somebody that dropped out of high school up here giving a commencement speech. But please believe me, my mama wasn't going for that. I ended up going to adult high school right after, and ended up graduating a couple of months earlier than everybody else. So, you know. Like, speaking of my mother and my uncle, they encouraged me. They encouraged me to be selfless, to lead with compassion and commitment. They taught me to be strong and to accomplish anything that I set my mind to. They assured me that as long as I keep my faith and continue to put God first, that the impossible will be possible. I'm not here to coddle y'all with long-winded explanations on how I came from nothing and rose to prominence by putting myself on. God ordered those steps. I just did the work. But long before I became the man that you see standing in front of you here today, I had to rise above. I had to rise above my responsibilities as a young kid growing up in a poverty-stricken community of Westchester on the west side of Charlotte. Looking back on life is crazy. I used to ask myself, like, why I don't got this? Or why I don't have that? Or why this person can get this, but I can't get it? You know, when you're young, you want nice things, you gotta face it. No matter if you feel like money growing trees or not. But my mama made sure we was fortunate enough to have a roof over our head, food in our stomach, clothes on my back. It wasn't that we couldn't have. It wasn't that she didn't want us to have nice things. We just couldn't afford it. We was broke. I know y'all know that, especially these college students. Y'all had to. But look, I wouldn't change my upbringing or how I was raised for nothing. If I could revisit the moments of uncertainty in my life, not knowing what was next, trying to stretch a dollar into next week, not having a decent pair of sneakers, I would do it all again. In the face of adversity, I remain optimistic. And right now, to this day, no matter the situation, I still remain optimistic. Believe it or not, though, my senior year of school was a major turning point in my life. It was a point that I didn't see the value in education. I didn't understand what y'all know. I knew what I wanted to do with my life, I just didn't know the path. So I decided to drop out and trust God to work in my favor. Looking back, I jumped the gun. I jumped the gun for real. And it was one of the toughest decisions I made. But I knew I had to trade in that traditional learning for the school of hard knocks. And trust me, it wasn't the glitz and glamour you see depicted in the films, the thrill of actively pursuing entrepreneurship in America. At one point, I was living out my car. Some nights, a friend's couch would become my bed for a week, or at least until I overstayed my welcome. I was staying at my girlfriend's house, who is not my wife. Yep. Until until her roommate told me I had to leave. I was staying at my uncle's house until his wife said I had to leave too. I was just overstaying my welcome everywhere. But the crazy thing is, as much of what I stumbled out onto in this misguided approach to success, it was everything I needed to educate myself on what was next. For context, let me give you an example of doing the work and God doing the magic. I used to be a rapper, one of the biggest rappers in the Carolinas at the time. I had a lot of songs on the radio, like 6 or 7. At one time, I was doing shows across the Carolinas. You know, I was feeling like that dude. I was that guy. I had 3 record deals on the table, all at the same time. I ended up signing with an independent label based out of Charlotte, owned by this guy named Richard DeMette. After I signed that deal, which was an amazing deal, I thought everything in my life was going to change for the better. You know, I was struggling. I didn't have no money. And like I said before, I was homeless. I went from sleeping at my girlfriend's house and my uncle's house to now I was sleeping at the studio, taking showers wherever I could. So I thought signing this deal was the answer to my financial problems and the answer to my dreams. But you know what happened? The owner of that label died in my studio, celebrating me signing. He passed the alcohol poisoning. And just like that, my dreams, my sense of security, everything was stripped. It felt like I was right back to ground zero with nothing. I lost my drive to create music, but not my drive to want more and still be involved in music. So I kept my faith and I pivoted. And I said, what can I do? I don't want to rap no more. I still want to do music, but I'm broke. I got 2 kids at the time, not 3, and I had no idea what was next until God's magic introduced me to a guy named Baby Jesus, who y'all now know as the Baby. I was growing tired of waiting. I was growing tired of waiting for the next opportunity, waiting for the right moment, so I took that moment and I made it perfect. I called up my big brother, mentor, Arnold Taylor, and told him, look, I found the world's next superstar, and we should start a label around him. Arnold told me, look, Carter, it's a lot of work doing a label. It's a lot of work running a label. I said, I'm going to educate myself like y'all do. I'm going to educate myself on everything, and I'm going to do the work and let God do the magic. And the rest of that is history. You see, life is one prolonged game of trial and error. Even when you have a studied formula for success, you still have to sow the seeds and wait for the results to harvest. If I would have grown impatient with what I had to work with, I would have been ill-equipped to handle what I am today. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I had dropped out, but looking back, the truth has never been more clear. If I didn't rise above the idea of failure, if I didn't rise above the idea of unknowing, if I didn't rise above the idea of trying, who to say those dots would have connected in my favor? I'm going to share with y'all my favorite scripture. Matthew 19:26. It reads, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. There's no such thing as an overnight success story. That's evident in my truth. I was very fortunate early on. I found something I was passionate about and never lost sight of my end goal. Me and Arnold built South Coast Music Group from the ground up with a vested interest in bringing what's considered the underdog to the forefront of music. The underdog being 2 black men with an idea. That's the foundation of success. It starts with an idea, and that idea nurturing into something greater, and that nurturing into something promising. I am both humbled and honored to speak with this graduating class in particular because we are one and the same. We know what it's like to persevere despite the unimaginable. Who could have known that a global pandemic was going to happen? Who could have known that things would happen to affect and impact our day-to-day lives, from mask mandates to social distancing policies? And after one complete year of quarantine, I think it's fair to say we endured. But even with these unprecedented hiccups on this road to success, you can't cheat the grind. We had to adjust. No matter how dim the glimmer of hope appears to be in the distance, you have to press on and continue to fight that good fight. And who better to identify with this ideology than 100+ graduates right here in front of me of Livingstone. Because 142 years ago, The dependents of freed slaves had a vision that education would be the tool to liberate people. As one of the only private, self-funded, historically black colleges in the United States, Livingstone is living history. It's encouraging to learn that this institution is so well versed in the art of independent grind, just like me and my team. Something tried and true to the story of my success. With that right mindset and enough willpower, it's truly amazing what we can accomplish as people, especially black people. But don't get me wrong, I had to fall a few times before this way of thinking became second nature. I'm a proud man, but not in a vain sense. I'm proud because I know God instilled in me an unwavering faith. An unwavering faith. Even at my lowest point, I was proud, and it didn't register at first, but after enough run-ins with rejection, something began to dawn on me. You have to fall in love not only with the results you want, but you have to fall in love with the process. I couldn't see it then, but I'm forever grateful for the early part of my career. Before we helped the baby become a 6-time Grammy-nominated megastar that the world knows, we didn't cut any corners. We paid our dues. We had plenty of sleepless nights, countless hours up and down 85, can vouch for it. I'm also proud of my newest venture, Social Currency Enterprises, a label I formed alongside my partners, Kia, Sport, and Rev. That focuses not only managing artists, but also educating them, like I said, educating them on how to become their own form of social currency. You see, objectivity frees the mind from uneasiness. The pressure behind trying to be everywhere at once was replaced with the relief of being right where I needed to be. After we stopped caring about results and we just did the work, no more, no less, I'm pretty sure none of this would have happened if we didn't get past that natural fear of failure. That's why I also live by the saying, never let a win go to your head or a loss go to your heart. So Livingstone graduates, I ask y'all, are y'all willing to sacrifice being comfortable? Are you willing to embrace being challenged? Are you willing to give it your all? Are you willing? You have to be self-motivated all the time. This is the truth both in life and work. Our legacy in life will be a unique reflection of the caliber of work that we leave behind in this lifetime. How do you want to be remembered? These are some of the same questions I find myself asking, but that's because I'm a man and a student of the game. But with God, my questions are answered and my purpose is revealed. That doesn't mean problems won't come out of hardship or excuses are not allowed. This just means you have to find something that you believe in and never settle. Just do the work and let God do the magic. Livingstone, congratulations.